The team is Biden-Harris. The policies are Biden-Harris. So whether that's immigration policy, economic policy with rising costs of inflation, whether it's the unsure international situation where we're looked at as in a weakened position because of the policies of Vice President Harris at the same time, crime in the cities. I mean, all of the things that Americans and West Virginians are upset about lay directly at the doorstep of the Vice President. And so I think, in my view, attack on policies, attack on vulnerabilities in terms of the issues that I mentioned, and that's a winning strategy in my view.
Well, Senator, of course, Harris would not be in this position to compete for the presidency if it weren't for Joe Biden dropping out of the race this past Sunday. You yesterday put out a statement in which you basically questioned if his ability to continue on a presidential campaign is in question. What about his ability to continue on as president of the United States? You have called for his resignation. If he were to resign, though, that would make Vice President Harris president now. Is that what's better for the country?
Well, I think what's better for the country is to have somebody in charge who knows what they're doing, and that's what we're going to see in November when President Trump is reelected. So I definitely think that is a much better position for the country. But here's my concern. The president made a difficult decision to not continue campaigning. He pretty much self-declared that he's not in a position to be able to do that. He didn't enumerate the issues, but we all know what they are. We saw them in full display at the debate. Those issues do not start on that one day. Those issues that the president has had have been going along over the last probably several years if you've had anybody in your family who's aged in this way. Vice President Harris has been right there with him. Why was she not making the American people aware? Why were they not working more hand in hand with the Congress to let us know what's actually going on at the White House? And so I just don't think 6 more months of President Biden is in our best interest. And these issues don't get better. We know that. And then sometimes they spiral out of control. And so I just think the country in and of itself would be better without President Biden at the helm.
Does that mean, Senator, considering that President Biden already, even if he does not resign as you wish him to, and there has been no sign that he is intending to do that, as in his letter, he basically just said he intends to fulfill the duties of the president for the remainder of his term. Does that signal that even in the lame duck session after the election, you don't see anything that Congress and this White House led by President Biden could work together on? Are we not going to see any movement on, say, government funding or the debt limit or the defense authorization? No, I think we will be moving forward here in the Senate on our appropriations bills. We'll be having some of those passed out of committee this week. I'm on that committee. And we have to have our spending. We either have to have a continuing resolution or something to the end of the year. Yes, I think that can continue. We need to reauthorize the National Defense Authorization Act. We will do that by the end of the year here in Congress, and the president will sign those bills, absolutely. But the question I'm asking is he really the one in charge here? I think all Americans are wondering that themselves. And so I just want a little honesty from the White House, from his biggest supporters, from his Democrat supporters here in the Senate, to be honest with the American people, to say what the situation has been. That's really not going to impact so much the election, except if there's a cover-up of what kind of challenges have been in the White House over the last several months. That's my question. This is not a personal thing to me, because I know the president. Well, sure. And Senator, of course, you'd worked with him in bipartisan legislative efforts like the infrastructure bill earlier on in his term. Have you seen from your position in the U.S. Senate evidence that Joe Biden has not been the one in charge or making decisions or anything concrete, or that's what you're hoping might
I think these are the questions that need to, I think these are the questions that need to be asked. I mean, honestly, we just signed a nuclear bill into effect. The president just signed my nuclear bill. He just signed my national plan to end Parkinson's bill. So there are things that we're doing together. I just think these are questions, and I think it also lends to what kind of a candidate Vice President Harris is going to be. She's been in the White House. She's been witnessing everything that's going on. Let's just have a little honesty here.